Romans 4, 6, 7, and 8. Just as David also speaks of the blessing of the one to whom God counts righteousness apart from works. And then in verse 7 and 8, he's quoting Psalm 32. So let's read that. Blessed is the one whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the man against whom the Lord counts no iniquity, in whose spirit there is no deceit. For when I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. For day and night your hand was heavy upon me. My strength was dried up as by the heat of summer. I acknowledged my sin to you, and I did not cover my iniquity. I said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and you forgave the iniquity of my sin. That's Psalm 32, 1 through 5. These verses are so good. And Paul is now quoting David. David had been there, done that. You know, in the preceding verses in 4 and 5, Paul is talking about how ungodly people believe in God and they received a gift, right? They received the gift of righteousness. And now he's using the example of David. You know, in his worst moments, David was someone that committed adultery and basically murder. You know, he had an affair, and then he had the husband of this woman basically sent to the front lines to die. Those are big sins, right? And it's hard for us to think of David as ungodly because he's the apple of God's eye. Like he's this godly king, but he was a sinner and he was forgiven by God. That should give us so much hope. Most of us don't fall to that level of sin in our life, of adultery and murder. But even if you do, there is hope. There is a God who will forgive you and can forgive you because of Christ. There is no deed that God will not give grace to because Christ, his perfect, spotless lamb, became the once and for all sacrifice. That's what Hebrews says, the once and for all sacrifice. And Christ fulfilled the law. So as sinners, we don't have to look to our own efforts to make up for or to atone for or to undo our past. We have to turn, we have to embrace God's grace, and we have to accept what Jesus has done for us on the cross. And we believe in that and we trust in that. We too are counted righteous, just like Abraham, just like David. And that is really good news.